Hey, it's Terry and Jewel, and we wanted to pop in this morning and do a little bit more practice with the finger painting. We're just coming off of the cuff with this one. Jewel's going to do a couple of daisies. I'm going to do a hydrangea and a bluebell. We just used a palette knife to put some random sort of mixed red, yellow, and white to get sort of a peachy color, because that way we can actually put all these together afterward and come up with an arrangement we can use them for. And we were reading our message from the Secret of the Day, and it suggested that maybe you would be more grateful in your day if you could come up with 100 things to be grateful for. So as we're painting, that's what we're going to be thinking about today. And part of that is, well, it's always good to have gratitude, but also to keep your mind, I mean, that's what this is for, is to relax your mind and help you enjoy your day. And if you can keep your mind partially on other things like what you're grateful for, then it's not so stressful trying to think, oh, I want every little thing to be perfect on my painting. So I'll talk a little, Jewel may talk a little. We're going to try to think of random things that we're grateful for throughout it. I wanted to show you something else I'm working on. I used this is something I'm working on for my son, and he's coming over today, and I want to finish this for them. I used the thin Golden liquid paints, and I'm not Golden's a good brand. I'm not a great fan of the thin liquid paints, but so I'm going to go back over most of this with my finishing touches with the heavier bodied paints today. But this is a place that he took me on his boat, me and him and my grandson, and the sun was going down, and he stopped and he said, this is the most beautiful place on earth to me, and this area, this little island, is Louisiana, and this little island in the distance is Texas. So you're sort of in no man's land when you're right here. And I'm trying to think of maybe about whether I'm going to put his little boat, with us on it in here, or him and his son, exactly what to do. But I want to finish that because he's coming over this afternoon. But I decided that maybe Jewel and I should come on and finger paint a little bit. So Jewel is going to work on one rounded tip daisy and one pointed tip daisy, and just have a good time with that. She chose to do yellows and purples, so I have yellows and purples, different shades, and some iridescent out from her, some white if we feel like we need to lighten it up. And bluebells and hydrangeas mostly are blues, so I added some blues and some yellows for me. When you look at the color wheel, orange is sort of across from your purples and your blues. That's why we chose this for our background. And I think we're going to get started. And on mine, I'm going to go ahead and sort of trace out a background with the white of where my hydrangea is going to be. You don't have to do that, but if you want to do that, you can do that too, Jewel. Or you can just start with your center and do what you want. I'm going to go ahead and put mine on here for my bluebell. Well, I can't. I don't know how. I'm going to just do that. Have a little fun. And that sort of will make the highlight of your flower, the background of it, show up better later. Oh, you just went right with the center. Just go with it, or set it aside and start on the other one and come back to it and it'll be dry. Do whatever you want to do. On a hydrangea, I'm thinking it's going to have a little bit of a darker background, and even though it's that's for the sort of the depth of it, even though it's a bunch of little small flowers, when you're looking at it in a photograph, unless you're looking at it really close or on a painting, it's generally not going to be all the little flowers. It's going to be sort of a blob where you can tell there's I love it. Keep going. Don't get frustrated. That's part of what we're learning. It did work because maybe that's the shadow over that piece a little bit. I am grateful for Jewel. We're having a birthday party over here tonight for my grandson, Jackson. His birthday was on the 20th, but his dad, my son, works away and is just now home. But what they don't know is we're also having a surprise party for my daughter-in-law, Haley, I'm wetting my finger every now and then here just because I don't like my fingers too dirty, and I've got a rag there. But, so we're having a little bit of a surprise party for Haley here. And, I've gone over with 2 colors blue, and now I'm going to do a tad of white in there again to where my actual blossoms are going to be. And that's for not much of nothing, but just to remind me that I need to put blossoms in. Anyway, so we're having a surprise party for her. So my friend Shug at Shuggy's Southern Sweet. Okay, sorry about that. We had a telephone call. Anyway, my friend Shug normally I bake the cakes and everything, but I've had so much going on. And my friend Shug at Shuggy's Southern Sweets just started herself a little baking business, so we ordered the cakes from her. So we have a really cool, she did a great job on Spider-Man for Jackson, who is 5 and he loves Spider-Man. And she made us a round cake that's sort of a teal color with a sort of a pinky peach color drizzled over it that looks like an ice cream cone melted all over it. And it has some what are those cookies called, Jewel?
Macaroons.
Some macaroons on it. And that's really cute. Oh, we can't forget about the birthday candles. And that's really cute. And then Jewel baked. It's also my stepdad's birthday is tomorrow, so we're surprising him that he thinks he's coming to their surprise party. But part of the surprise party is for him, and we're bringing his favorite cake is coconut, and he likes the way Jewel makes it. So Jewel baked him a coconut cake with a lot of extra coconut on it. She loves to bake. I gave her a KitchenAid mixer that I had, an extra one. I love mine. And I was so impressed with Jewel's dedication to her baking and all that I gave my spare to her. I decorated it all up with vinyl off of my silhouette and gave it to her, and she hasn't looked back since. So what are you grateful for, Jewel?
I'm grateful for you.
You're grateful for me? Thank you. Hey, how cool is that? I must be doing something right. I must be. You just hope that they love you just as much when they grow up and the teenage years happen as when they're young. Right? These are the best years. The best years and the best times. I'm just using my pinky now to sort of simulate the little petals that I'm putting on my hydrangea. What you doing over there, Jewel?
I'm putting a little bit of iridescent paint.
Oh, yeah. She was excited about the iridescent. She asked if it had glitter, which it didn't, but you know what? If you wanted to, afterward, you could probably sprinkle some glitter. I don't know. Is yours showing up as good as mine? It seems like it's brighter on mine.
Yeah.
There you go. Make your speak up. Let's see. Back to gratitude. I am grateful. I am grateful to have the opportunity to do stuff that I enjoy doing. You know what? Life is hard sometimes, and whenever I was young, life was not always easy, and it could have turned out a whole nother way to where maybe I didn't have the opportunity to do things that I enjoyed, that I would have had to work harder all the time and not been able to do these things that I enjoy doing. So I am very, very grateful to now have the opportunity to do things that I enjoy, like this, like spending time with you and painting and creating and going places, everything that I really love. And you know, I think when you put in enough years of hard work, that eventually it pays off, and that's happening. But it doesn't happen for everybody, and I realize that. So I'm very, very grateful that I get this opportunity to spend some of my years enjoying myself. And I believe it's important to take that opportunity and run with it and do it. I'm going to go ahead and use my pinky finger on my leaves too, even though the hydrangea has pretty good sized leaves on it. I've done stuck my pinky in my mama's old green, so by golly, green pinky finger it's going to be. I can't understand what
I'm jealous.
You're jealous? What are you jealous of? My pinky finger? Are you jealous of my pinky finger? Jewel might be jealous of my pinky finger. Oh, let's see. I don't know where to go. Usually the other one's going to go out the other direction. And I made that first one a little bit too fat. But that's okay. Because you know who this has to please? M-E. Me. And I am having a good time. Which is what I intended on doing. So it's a success story. Whether or not it looks how I thought it was going to look or not. I'm going to go around the edges and over the corners with mine because why not? And there's my hydrangea. I am grateful for, you know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful that my pawpaw had a green finger. Or what do they call it? A green thumb. I have a green pinky, if that counts. He had a green thumb. And they always, my grandparents always had flowers growing in their yard. And my pawpaw taught me things like, he would take a big old nail and put it down in the dirt, probably 2 or 3 of them, but I just remember it being a really big nail, and put it down in the dirt near the hydrangeas, and that would change the composition of the soil, and I know acidity works and the amount of iron in the soil and all those things, to where he could get some of his blooms that would be sort of a pink color and some of his blooms that would be sort of a purple color. Maybe in his honor, I'm going to grab a little bit of this fuchsia color and stick it in there here and there. I don't want to get too much. It never was on the same blossom, so that might have been a mistake. But that's okay. Kind of looks like I cut myself on there. Maybe I'll cover that back up. We're going to let that dry a little bit and decide. But I'm grateful that my grandparents spent time with me. I'm going to use that and just sort of shade in there a little. I actually do like that. I'm grateful that they spent time with me, teaching me things like gardening and to love the outside and to love the plants and I used to think that it was the silliest thing in the world that my mama would walk to the mailbox every day. I'm like, Mama, why are you walking to that mailbox? You got a perfectly good car. I really didn't understand why. She walked to the mailbox and she said, I need the exercise. And I'm thinking, why in the world do you need the exercise? That doesn't make any sense. And now I understand. She needed the exercise. It was a smart thing to do. All the fresh air and the beauty outside and the increase in her cardiovascular health and keeping herself from being diabetic. All of the things that I now know that you can do from walking a little bit. And she didn't go out and say, oh, here I'm, like Dr. McCullough, let's go walk 30 minutes every day. And that's the thing I need to do to keep myself healthy. She walked to the mailbox every day. She had a really long dirt driveway. And the mailbox they had a rural route. And it was down at the end of the driveway. So she would walk down to the mailbox. And they had a paper box down there too. Walk down and get the paper in the mornings. Walk back up and walk down in the afternoons and get the mail and walk back up. And I'm pretty impressed now because she was a pretty smart cookie. Pretty smart cookie. So I'm very grateful that I had my grandparents who loved me as much as they did. I'm going to try to do a little bit of a stem down the center here. And I'm not very good with thin, so I'm not going to worry about it being thin. And I'm not going to worry about it being neat because we're trying to get the resemblance of a flower here. If we wanted this to be perfect, we would go out and find one and take a photograph of it. We're wanting the resemblance, or I'm wanting the resemblance of a bluebell here, and by golly, that's what I'm going to work on.
Mine kind of looks like an LSU.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All the little, hold it up. I love it. All the little, spiky things that are in the center of a daisy. Look how good she did on that. It does look like LSU. Go Tigers. And look at that. I love how the iridescent went on there, Jewel. That's a great job. You did great. I am grateful for being able to cook on an electric stove and not having to go outside in the cold in the wintertime to get fire for the fireplace and fire for the stove and wait to, get the fire going and everything before we could be warm on the inside and before anything could cook, and having no control over the temperature of how your biscuits baked or how your cobbler baked and how fast things cooked on top, and burning yourself, for goodness sakes. I know my grandmother must have burned herself a lot. That looks really good, Jewel. She's got her a little stem and a leaf in there. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Now we can put our initials on there. We'll do that. Go ahead and start your next one, and we'll put our initials on in the end. I'm still trying to decide whether to put, I'm going to at least put a stem, whether to put another set of leaves on here.
Okay, so for my next one, this one does have the edges painted, unlike the other one, because I was trying to get it to dry fast. For this one, since I did my pointy leaves on this one, I'm gonna do my round leaf daisy on this one.
Oh, cool. You know what? I've never seen a bluebonnet in person. I think that's the Texas state flower. But I'm wondering, I'm choosing them because Louisiana has the magnolia. That's correct, and they smell so good.
I wish I could do magnolia, but I don't know how.
Yeah, boy, that would take us a little while to do a magnolia. I couldn't do a magnolia yet either, especially not finger painting. But I wonder when the bluebonnets are in bloom in Texas. I mean, that would make a good day trip to go over and see them in bloom, because from what I understand, they're in the fields there and they're all over the place, and it is gorgeous. They're tall and spiky with the flowers that come out on little stems around that way. We need to find that out. We need to ask. Maybe our friend Sharon can tell us when the bluebonnets bloom in Texas and take that day trip. And then we could find us a little cafe or a little coffee shop somewhere and just sit on the side and paint the bluebonnets in bloom.
There was a guy outside sitting by the flea market, and he was painting the tree of the museum and the sky and stuff.
Awesome. I wish I would have known about him. I would have went and got his info so we could have followed him. I bet he has social media.
Yeah, he has a big old pad and a thing that you open up, and it has paint and colors and stuff in it.
Cool.
And he would spread his legs out really far so he could open it all up, and he would just sit there painting.
Cool. He's living the life. That man's living my goals. What else are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for Jesus and God, because
that's good.
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today, sharing all of our painting with you guys, and we wouldn't have had each other. So I'm really grateful for God and Jesus.
Yeah, that's the supreme thing to be grateful for. That's pretty impressive.
I put a little bit of pink.
There's grown-up people who don't know to be that grateful for that important things yet.
I don't know if you can really see it, but yeah, you can see it. I put a little bit of a, what color would that be? It's this color.
This one?
Yeah.
Fuchsia. That's kind of sort of a bright pinky purple.
Yes, I put a little bit of that in the middle of my,
Oh, I like it.
Ooh, I got some on the edge. It's okay, we'll just blend that out.
Yep, that's right. It's always okay. I'm going to get me another one because I've done used that up. I'm going to put a rose on this one. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to, how am I going to make some of this? What did I put in that? Red, yellow, and white.
And you have all all those colors right
Yeah.
there. So you don't have to
Blend
waste
them.
paint.
That's
We
right.
have a bunch of white.
Yeah. Let's put a bunch of white first.
Oh,
Oh, white to have splattered it. That's why we wear our aprons.
I have a homemade apron today.
She does. We have all of our aprons at work. I thought I had left the blow dryer at work. I found it in here under the table after we had already mostly let it dry. But Jewel has a scarf wrapped around her today because I do believe that it's important to have your apron on, for one, so you don't mess up your clothes, but for two, it's just a
I
good
need
time.
to wear that purple.
Which one? The dark purple? The one that was Mama's?
Yeah, that one. Whatever
Is that one hers? That's a good dark purple right there too.
That's dark purple.
Yeah, that's
No,
dark
that
purple.
one's hers. I'm talking about that light one.
Okay, which one is that?
Yeah, I like the light purple.
Which one is it? But you mix a little of your iridescent with that and get a purple too. Oh yeah, that's definitely hers, that dark one.
This will be fine. I'll just use
You got it? Okay. That's what's really good too, is blending your own colors. Get a little more red in this. Blending your own colors, because then your colors are unlimited. You can have any color or shade that you want just using your basic colors.
Thick. Her paint is. Oh, look how
Put
pretty.
some water in it. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. And you can use it kind of swirly if you want. A little more yellow. Get on there. I am grateful that women who came before me fought for the right for us to get to vote and to be recognized as equal citizens in this. And you know, I was born in a free country. I have the freedom to do and say what I please when I please, whether anybody else likes it or not, with the idea of always try to be kind, of course, and all of those important things. But we could have been born in an area of the world or in a time where we wouldn't even have the right to speak up if we wanted to. So I'm so grateful for being born where I was born, and in the time I was born, and to the people in the place I was born.
Can I show my iridescent?
Sure.
Also, if you're wondering what kind of iridescent I'm using the golden artist colors. You see that?
They were, Golden gave me that to tell you the truth here. I wrote to them and I said, hey, I have some of my mama's old paints and I paint myself. I'm trying to decide what brands to use and things like that. And before I feel like that I can invest in paint that's more expensive, I need to see if it really is a higher quality and more pigmented and things like that. That I use this end if you want to use the end to mix it up. Is that what you're wanting? You can do that. Or about whether it's worth that investment or not. And Golden mailed me this. They mailed me this, a teal, and I think a red. And I thought, what a great company. What a great company that did that for me.
Ooh, it's like the LSD
I was the potential of a customer for them, and liking what they had because my mama had used some of it. And I wrote to them, and they mailed me those samples, and I am really, really impressed with the quality of their paint. Golden's a good company. I'm gonna blow dry this that I just put on with my fingers. Oh, that's beautiful, Jewel. Look how pretty that is. That's where she mixed the dark purple that was out of some of my mom's old batch along with the iridescent from Golden. Purple is my favorite color, so I feel good about it.
It's so dark down here.
I know, but it's really not. I don't understand that. But it's bright when you put it up there.
Yeah.
grateful for growing up in a time where we went outside to play with our friends, and we had good friends that just hung out together, and I'm still friends with people today that I was friends with in elementary school and high school. And it's keep going, because you can put a lighter over it. Never give up. Always come from your center out, though. I'm grateful to be born in a time where we did all those things together as young people, to where we were active, and we rode around the back roads, and we went to the lake, and we went to the ponds, and we went and hung out under bridges and just whatever kind of watering hole was there, and did things outdoors and spent time together. But now, when so many of us would have lost touch with each other over the years, if it weren't for social media, I believe that we're in the luckiest of times for people my age. I'm 55. For people my age, because now I can see who my best, of course I still see my best friend all the time, but really good friends and people I went to school with, I can keep up with their kids and their grandkids and what's going on, in their lives, and see, when they need me or not, and have things going on in their lives where I may be of assistance, then I can be there for them, and that's pretty lucky, because there's, in the olden times, there would be times when we would think, just keep going. There would be times when we would think, oh, I didn't know that so and so was sick, or I didn't know that they were going through hard times, or I would have helped, or so many other things. But now we're living in a time where that kind of information is out there immediately, and we can be there for our friends, where that wasn't always the case. So I'm very, very grateful of the time that I was born in.
I have to say something.
What are you grateful for? Your turn.
I got to say something.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Looks like an iris.
Okay, so about this, I know you have seen me a few times be like, oh my gosh, that does not look good, but I'm here to say that I'm only 10, and you can if you think that something is bad, don't give up, because there's always a way to fix it, and as long as you like it, it'll be fine. So I took and I swerved it a little bit, and I fixed what looked wrong with it mostly. So I'm here saying, don't give up. You can just always fix it. Take another color, go over it or something. I put a little bit of white on it.
I love it.
Did some swishes and swashes.
That would be beautiful in a bouquet. That would be absolutely gorgeous in a bouquet of flowers.
And then I'm grateful for my parents and my siblings, because without them, I'm not sure if all you know, but I did have a whole bunch of allergies, and we recently went through, or I'm still kind of going through it, went through something called OIT, short for oral immunotherapy, and this costed so much money because we live in Louisiana, and we had to travel all the way to Dallas, Texas, which took a long time, especially when you have a 2-year-old that has a bunch of allergies as well, so it's really hard. So it costed a whole bunch of money, and there was a bunch of co-pays and the gas money and stuff. It was really hard, but I'm thankful for my parents, because without them, none of this would happen. I could have possibly, I don't want to say died, but I could have already passed away because of my allergies. But now there's not as big as of a chance of that happening, because my parents let me do a therapy.
Yeah, that was life-changing. That the therapy there is just something to be grateful for. There's so many people that didn't have that opportunity. That's definitely a blessing. Definitely a blessing. I love it. You gonna put a stem on that one, or not? It don't have. You don't have to.
Probably not. I wish that one was longer though.
Well, make it longer if you want. Okay, so I finished my blue bonnet, And I just did a yellow rose. I must have Texas on my mind. Yellow rose of Texas.
Oh, that's pretty.
Thank you. So they all are going to kind of blend together. Are you done with that one? Or are you going to do anything else to it?
No.
Okay. Well, let's put them all together. Let's see how this would actually probably hang in your room and look really good. Jules' room is sort of peaches and teals, but these other colors would look good with it too, and blues, because blue is one of her favorite colors. Let's see. Trying to get it to where they'll be mixed in. We probably just need to do a sixth one, huh? Or spread them out a little bit. Put your purple one in the center like that. Okay, so if we were to have finger painted a vase on our, I hope you've done your, I still am not happy with mine, but I'm going to leave it that way. Now, Joel thinks it's pretty, and I don't know what I think of it, but I'm going to use it because that's what I made. And if we wanted to do a bouquet, if that's what you decide to do on your canvas, you can just practice with any sort of flowers. These are some of the ones we discussed. The hydrangea, the bluebell, daisies. This sort of looks like an iris to me. Roses. You could put one of, well, not one of each, but a couple of each. You would have your focal point flowers, the ones that stick farther away, and then more greenery, and put all the different ones in a vase. Or like we're going to do Thursday, I think we're going to choose whichever flower that you choose to do and do an odd number of them. 3, 5, 7, 9, 13. My lucky number, or however many on our canvas, and start from there. But I encourage you to, and Jules gonna say one more thing too, but I encourage you to give it a try. Try out the flowers today, decide which ones that you love the best and are easiest for you to do. And Thursday we're going to be live at 10:30 a.m. I'm going to come live from the store, the Artisan Market, and please join me then. And if you look down on the page a little bit, there's a Facebook Live notification. It's a big picture that says Facebook Live. If you put the word alert in the comments under that, it should send you a way to opt in through Messenger to be notified before we do a live. I know I've had 2 or 3 people contact me and say they're not getting the notifications when we go live on here. And they're missing a little bit of it, and having to search a little bit. I have what's called a bot through ManyChat set up to where you should get a notification that lets you know when we're going to go live. But we're going to go live. If you want to set a timer on your phone, we're going to go live on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. and we're going to do our canvas with our finger painted flowers, the flower of choice. Probably, I think the most simple is the rose. So I'm going to do the rose, but you can do whichever of the flowers that you've practiced on. And I'll see you then. Jewel has just something to say as well.
Also, if you wanted to have like a bouquet of flowers and you only had like these little ones, then you could take and make a bunch of flowers and put them together.
Oh, cute.
And then you could draw like strings or something.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Those could be mounted on a bigger canvas to make the whole thing 3D. That would be kind of cool too. All right. Well, we've enjoyed spending time with you today, and we're going to see you Thursday morning. Don't forget to be there. This is a lot of fun. You should try it. Bye.